What's going on, guys? It's me, Fan 2016 here, and today we have another model plane review for you guys. Today I'll be reviewing the GeminiJets 1/400 scale Delta Connection CRJ-200, a rather interesting model for my Delta collection. I have not used this model quite too often, but it's a rather interesting model for my collection, more particularly my Delta collection. But other than that, it's really interesting to have this model in my collection, and yeah, very interesting model indeed. This came out on GeminiJets' February 2022 releases, and yeah, it's quite the interesting model when they released this. So yeah, I'm just eager to see on what GeminiJets has to offer for the CRJ-200 mold, and I'm just super excited to review this model for you guys. And yeah, very interesting model indeed, and we're gonna get started with the review. So without being said, let's get started with the box review first. So as per usual of my model reviews, I always start with the box first. So you got the GeminiJets logo right there, made for collectors by collectors. You got the CGI image of the aircraft, you got the Bavarian CRJ-200 tiles right there. You got the Delta Airlines logo and the SkyTeam logo right there. 1/400 scale die-cast model aircraft. Of course, this is your standard GeminiJets box. Here are the sides right there, looking very nice. So it shows all the sides right there. Here's the back section of the box. Right there, you got the CGI image of the aircraft right there, taking off in some cirrus clouds, as well as the guest features right there. So here are the bullet points right there. You got the social media pages right there, you got the Delta Airlines trademark right there, and this is a 2021 GeminiJets copyright label right there, although this is a February 2022 release. And the item number of this model is GJDAL2034. And as I open up the pamphlet, this is where the model should be inside, so it's just like a square cutout of like the box. And here's the description of the CRJ-200. You can pause and read whatever you like. You can learn more about this aircraft and this particular aircraft registration in general. So yeah, so that's pretty much the box review. So nothing to go over since this is like a standard GeminiJets box. But other than that, it's a very interesting box style from GeminiJets. Now let's get into the model. And here's the model itself, looking absolutely very nice. It's a very tiny model, and overall, I think GeminiJets did a decent job on their CRJ-200 mold. So you got the cockpit windows right there, you got like the nose shape of the plane, looking very nice. I think GeminiJets did a great job on representing the nose of the CRJ-200. You got some pitot tube details right there, and here's your nose landing gear. It's not really like a metal nose landing gear, since it's a very tiny model. They just like added in like a plastic landing gear for the nose, and they just like color the wheels black. So that's pretty much what they did here, but it's reasonable since this model is very small and it's a CRJ-200. You got the SkyTeam logo right there, and then you got, I'm assuming that says operated by Endeavor Air. So a couple of Delta CRJ-200s are operated by Endeavor Air, and some can also be operated by SkyWest. Here's your L1 boarding door right there, the large L door for the boarding door right there. You got the Delta Connection tiles right there, you got your windows right there looking very nice. You also got your emergency exit door right there. Here's your main landing gear as well. Moving on to the top view of the plane, the wing section in this case. So as you can see, here's some great wing details. You can see a couple of nice details right there. You got some dots, and then you got some kind of like emergency exit indicator, I think that's what it is. You also got some slat details, aileron details, flight spoiler details, and ground spoiler details and flaps. This is a cantilever plane, so it doesn't really feature anything much of the wings except for the flap track fairings at the bottom. But yeah, mainly this wing is completely like, doesn't require any like additions to the main wing. And here's the winglet of the plane looking very nice. I'm not sure if I can try to focus it, but it's right there. I think GeminiJets also did a great job on the wing of the CRJ-200 and the winglet in general. Moving on to the back area, here's your engine right there. This is the GE CF34 engines right there that power the CRJ-200. Here's a US flag right there and the aircraft registration, which is November 685 Bravo Romeo. Moving on to the back area. So here's the back area. So I'm not sure where the APU area is for this aircraft, but maybe somewhere over there if I were to guess, or maybe it's situated somewhere over there, or probably it could be on the starboard side. And here's the Delta Airlines upward and onward widget tail right there looking very nice. And then you got your horizontal stabilizers on top representing a T-tail for this aircraft. Moving on to some front details. So here's the front detail looking very nice. Overall, I think GeminiJets did a great job on the details at the front. The cockpit windows are well straight, which I do like to see. And then you also got some straight horizontal stabilizers as well. Moving on to the starboard section of the plane. So here's the starboard section. And here's the R door. Of course, it's smaller since it really isn't much of an emergency exit door. That's the reason why it's small. But you also got your, actually the cargo bins are actually at the very front since it's a CRJ. So the cargo bins may be somewhere like, well, there's your cargo bin right there. So it's somewhere over there. But on this side, everything is just like pretty much the same. So as you can see, everything is really pretty much the same. And I'm assuming this is where the APU would be housed. But yeah, that's the CRJ-200. Moving on to a top view of this aircraft, so let me just position her like this. So here's a top view of the plane, looking very nice. Love the various top details right there. Moving on to the bottom section of the plane, you got all your, well, there isn't really much details going on at the very bottom, but you got your GeminiJets logo right there, and your stand hole right there. And yeah, this is a one-piece mold for the wing right there, so it's like one of their old molds. They haven't really quite updated much on the CRJ-200 mold, but it is what it is. And here's the front section of the plane, looking very nice. I think I mentioned a little bit of the front section, but here it is again. And moving on to the back section, here is the back section right there. So overall, I think GeminiJets did a great job on their CRJ-200 mold. And yeah, having this Delta CRJ-200 is quite interesting. And yeah, once again, I haven't really featured this aircraft too much on many of my airport updates, but it's an okay model for my collection. I have not seen them, and like, I haven't seen the Delta CRJ-200s. Unfortunately, they are retired for the Delta Connection fleet, so yeah, it is what it is. So I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing with this model, but other than that, it's like an addition to my Delta Connection fleet and my Delta Airlines fleet, so I'm not going to complain too much about that. But other than that, that's the model. But before we get into the conclusion part of this video, let's go over the background information about this particular aircraft. So with that being said, let's get into that. And let's go over the background information of this Delta Connection CRJ-200, registered November 685 Bravo Romeo. So let's start off with some information on air fleets. So as you can see, let me just give it a while to load. Okay, so here we go. So the manufacturer serial number is 7712. The age of this aircraft is 21.3 years. The test registration of this aircraft is Charlie Foxtrot Mike Lima Tango, and the production site is in Montreal, Canada. And the aircraft status says that it is stored, and this was last updated on December 1 of 2022. And as you can see, it has a lot of history right here. So it first operated with Atlantic Coast Airlines, if I'm saying that properly. And this aircraft was delivered in December of 2002, and then it transferred to United Express, and it was like that same year, so December, or that same month, so yeah. And then she got transferred for Independence Air on August 2004, and then operated for Comair at October 12, 2006, excuse me. And then she operated with Delta Connection on October, well, that same month. And then she got transferred to SkyWest in June 2011, and then still operating for Delta Connection as of that month. And then she was transferred to Endeavor Air in February 2021, where she operated with Delta Connection that same month and year. So yeah, and yeah, I got a lot of history that I would like to like go over, but yeah, it got at least a couple of times, and then it was stored at some airports before it got transferred to some other like regional brands. And yeah, there are times where they changed the fleet number. Not sure why they did that. And then yeah, after that, after the Delta CRJ-200s were retired, it was then stored. And as for like the air fleet's information, first flight date of this aircraft, if I can try to find it. Okay, well, it says unknown, so we're not sure on when the first flight date was. But this aircraft, of course, is operated with two GE CF-34 3B1 engines. And then, yeah, you got a lot of these like stuff right there. So, delivery date when she operated for Atlantic Coast Airlines was December 4th of 2002. And then Independence Air, well, of course, they ceased operations on January 5th of 2006. But that aircraft was delivered to that airline on August 4th of 2004. And then on October 6th of 2006, she will then operate with Atlantic Southwest Airlines, Atlantic Southeast Airlines. And then later on December 28th of 2006, she would operate for Comair, I think, for Delta Connection. And then around June 1 of 2011, she would operate for SkyWest. And then on February 1 of 2021, she would then operate for Endeavor Air. So quite the history for this aircraft right here. And of course, the aircraft says that it is stored. I do want to take a look on the pamphlet to see on when the first flight date on that aircraft was. So, excuse me guys, so let me just take a look at the pamphlet. So, let's see. Okay, so delivery date was on December 28th of 2006. Yeah, it does not show any, like, first flight date of this aircraft, but I can also tell you some extra information on this, like, other features, or, like, the characteristics of the CRJ-200. Let me just place it back right there. So the maximum takeoff weight for this aircraft is 53,000 pounds. The cruising speed is 488 miles per hour. Range for this aircraft is 1,956 miles. And the seating capacity of this aircraft is 50. So, kind of like your typical 50-seater regional jet right there. So yeah, that's pretty much it for all the information and background information for this plane. Overall, quite an interesting aircraft to say the least. And yeah, this aircraft sure did had a history throughout its operating life. So yeah, very nice model right there. So with that being said, let's move on to the conclusion portion of this video. So the model overall is good. I think GeminiJets did a great job on using their CRJ-200 molds. And yeah, quite interesting to have a CRJ-200 in my collection, although this aircraft is already retired from the Delta Airlines fleet. I'm eager to see if I can try to get a United Express CRJ-200, or maybe some other CRJ-200 plane. I think the last time they did a CRJ-200, well, GeminiJets did a CRJ-200, was that Air Wisconsin CRJ-200 in 1/400 scale, so yeah. And they still do the CRJ-200s now and then. I hope they could do like a re-release of a United Express one in the future, because I would like to have a United Express CRJ-200 since I saw a couple of those. But I haven't got a chance to see the Delta Connection CRJ-200s, and unfortunately those are retired from the Delta Airlines fleet like I said. But nevertheless, really glad to have this model for my collection, and I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this model. But other than that, it should be a nice addition to my Delta Airlines fleet. So, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and turn on that post notification bell so you won't miss a video like this anytime soon. And if you want to see more of my model plane content, then you can click on our playlist, and it shows you all the model plane content that I do on this channel. So, that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Anyways, good night.